Welcome to NK Sports, presented by Grand Lake Health. We're here at Sidney High School to bring you high school volleyball, where the Troy Trojans take on the Sidney Yellow Jackets. Tonight's game is brought to you by American Trim, First National Bank, Keyhole Pizza, Winners Meats, NKTelco, Frost Roofing, Hometown Opportunity, Minster Bank, Plygem, Precision Strip, Schwederman's Pharmacy, New Knoxville Supply, Fowler's TV, Wilson Health, Cy Schwederman, Carriage Works, and Kogi Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. There you get a look inside at Sidney High School here in a game brought to you by Grand Lake Health System. Mike Kern and Dave Kanapke. And Dave, big old conference matchup turns into a new conference matchup between these two teams.
Yes, these two teams came from the G-Walk. Now they are in the Miami Valley Conference. Troy 16-2 overall. They're in second place in the Miami division of the MVC, and Sidney 11-7 overall, 10-4. They are in first place. So two teams having some pretty good years so far.
Look at these two teams, and again, we talk about an old rivalry. Troy has pretty much dominated it early on, or the last handful of years, 20 out of the last 21. But when you get to these leagues, Troy has wanted to beef up a lot of their schedule. Sidney is one of the only teams to finish over 500 last year in their division. They want to come out and show that they can hang with a team like Troy.
Yeah, Sidney's trying to build a program. If they win one more, they'll clinch their third straight winning season under Coach Lauren Moore. So, yeah, they lost already once to Troy, but right now they're on a 4-game winning streak. Yellow Jackets are trying to get something going good. There's only 2 weeks left in the regular season, then it goes right in the tournament.
It's amazing. The tournament draw is actually this weekend. Yeah, it's crazy that we're already to that point, but that's a look inside here at both teams. We'll tell you some more about this matchup when we come back here on NKTelco Sports.
At Grand Lake Health, we offer urgent care services within Joint Township District Memorial Hospital. Upon arrival, each patient is greeted and healthcare professionals assess the level of care required. Urgent care services extend your access to quality health care, complete for non-life-threatening problems. Our state-of-the-art facility and host of diagnostic and treatment options allow you to receive the treatment you deserve in a timely and courteous way. Grand Lake Health Systems, the highest quality health care for you and your family.
American Trim's story started in 1951, and our long family legacy continues today. We are a third-generation family-owned business with locations in Sidney and Walpock, and we're hiring for manufacturing positions on first, second, and third shifts. Part-time and full-time positions are available for entry-level and skilled individuals. Please apply at www.amtrim.com or in person. American Trim is a proud sponsor of high school sports and our communities. Come be part of our story.
Welcome back to Sidney High School as we get ready to take a look at our American Trim starting lineups. Today's game brought to you by Grand Lake Health Systems. And the starting lineups first for the for the home team in the Yellow Jackets. You see Nora Houts, the freshman on the outside hitter, Derry McBride, along with Cassidy Truesdale, Faith Bockrath, Anna Brady, Allie Stockton, and the libero in Abby Nuss. And the visiting starting lineup brought to you by American Trim. Morgan Baber, a big part of what is going to happen here today. Thousandth assist in her career last week. Last year was a second-team pick in the G-Walk, and Emmy Jackson a big part. Lauren Schmitz, too, Dave, a Stony Brook signing you're going to hear a lot about.
Yeah, player of the year last year when they were in the G-Walk, so a very good player.
Take a look at our Keyhole Pizza keys to the game as this one gets started.
Versus the Troy Trojans, they want to focus on the first contact. They want to serve aggressive. They want to get at least 6 aces per set as their goal, and they want to spread the ball on offense because they have a lot of weapons besides Lauren Schmitz. And then for Sidney, they want to contain the big hitters of Troy. Don't let them, you're not going to stop them, but they want to slow them down a little bit, execute their defensive game, and they want to serve and attack aggressively. That way, Troy can't easily get into their offense.
You see Sidney starting off as we get ready. The first serve underway. And both teams, again, big aggressiveness early on, and you kind of get fired up early on and get that big hit as it misses long on the back line.
Yeah, they went right side there to Kate Orban. It hit long, so early start here for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, that's important too for Sidney to get started like we talked about, and you kind of play it, try to pull everybody back towards the net, and just a little bit out of sorts. Allie Stockton has to, Emmy Jackson dives to the floor, and quickly a 2-0 lead. Another serve set back up at the middle, and it's a good change of pace for Troy. Come up with Anna Bosey.
Bosey is sophomore, but 6'2". Change of pace, and back to serve is Kate Orban.
So a quick 2-1 lead, and the ball right up off of Nora Houts, the freshman. That's one. You only take those a couple of times, I think, during your freshman year, and you learn.
Yeah, you do. There's 3 freshmen on this Sidney team. It's a young team, but they have some talent.
It's a first serve, kind of an awkward ball. There's its free ball back across by Baldwin, and up at the net, just smoked right back through on that kill. I'll say tipped off by Sidney, and down 2-0 quickly is Troy, but a very good team. They fight back to take a 3-2 lead.
Ellen Kirchero with the kill there. Yeah, 16-2, 13-1. They've only lost. Both of their 2 losses have been in 5 sets to Centerville and to Tip. So 2 very good teams for their 2 losses.
And that's a Tip team that they knew that they would see again, because that's a pullover from the G-Walk. So another great set, and it doesn't matter where she goes on the floor. You just look at Lauren Schmitz and you see this replay. Watch how high this ball ends up and where she attacks it from one side to the other. Take my word for it, she hit it pretty fast.
Yeah, she's going to Stony Brook College, a Division I program over in St. Henry, or
They moved it
to New York. Sorry where that came from.
Stony Brook, New York is what he was looking for. And a quick 4-2 lead as that substitution sends out Anna Brady. Brings back in Derry McBride for the Yellow Jackets as they get to serve in the, was it a rotation error?
It was, they pushed it and hit a corner. The setter hit it for kill, and now is a side out there, a bad serve for the Yellow Jackets.
Troy coming off of a win against Beaver Creek and trying to keep that momentum going as it's free ball back across and set again beautifully at the net, and that works so perfectly for Bosey. Just that little dump and continue long enough trying to make Sidney make mistakes. That's what happened the first time around these teams played.
Yeah, and that time it was hitting there on Sidney. Troy won this game on September 3rd in 3, 25-12, 17-17.
Good block and recovery from Troy and then from Sidney. It's sent back across by Baldwin. And the hitting error just not high enough on that. It's not very often you get someone who can leap like Brianna Slusher, and you have to make sure you get it extra high.
Yeah, just the timing was a little bit off there as into the game as Sidney Boshears, a sophomore, to serve for the Yellow Jackets.
She comes back, also part of the Sidney Pride of Sidney drum line that plays every Friday night. Now dink back towards her, and nobody able to get up near it.
That's what you call your reputation preceded her, and her hitting that. Everybody was ready for the fastball, and she threw the changeup.
I said early on, you only get hit with one of those before you figure out how to get out of the way. Unfortunately, it was a little too far out as a rocket on that serve across from Jenna Coleman. And another point on the mistake. This is what you talked about getting into your rhythm defensively during the keys and making the other team go along, make mistakes. Right now, all the mistakes are going against Sidney.
Yeah, it's real critical that they handle it. And that one might have, I think that would have dropped as Boshears hit at the last minute. So key here. Troy is hitting, serving hard. It's key that Sidney has a nice dig that can get to her setter, and then you can get in system, as a lot of the volleyball coaches will say.
And a much different serve this time around after the defense was playing back. A ball long on the return for Cassidy Truesdale, but you said earlier on they want to get 6 aces a set, which seems like a big number, but then you see how they serve, and it makes sense up 10-4.
Yeah, they've served very aggressively like the good teams do, and there's an ace there as they're not able to get a solid return there. So give an ace to Jenna Coleman.
It's a thing that is said a lot. Coleman has one of the bigger ace numbers on her team throughout the course of the season already, for a team at 16-2. Now another one just floated back up. Sidney kind of out of sorts as Hutchinson, or as Houts rather, has to return it. And up off two hands, another big swing on the attack from Slusher. As you see the replay.
See here the wraparound play here, as you have Slusher going from the middle to the right. If you execute, that's really tough to block, and especially with a good hitter like Brianna Slusher.
Speaking of good hitter, big hitter, ended up with that one back to the wall as it forces the side out in the change. It's bringing the freshman now to serve for Sidney. Big right hand sent and dug out of the middle. Perfect back set too. I thought that ball was going to drop to the floor, but on the run, credit Sidney for being able to get back to it. See if they come back right inside the line. Brianna Slusher again.
You're talking about the back set by Morgan Baber. She does a really nice job of running this offense. She handles the ball well, and back set, front set, she's controlling the offense.
Sidney lost three big seniors and all league players from last year. Well, this is a team that has picked up the slack as that ball redirected off the fingers from Kate Orban. A lot of height on the left side of the net as Orban will set back up again. And you could hear that ball turn inside out on the thud off of Boshears. Watch how hard this is hit on the replay, coming all the way across too.
Yeah, good hit by Orban there for the kill, and it's a timeout by Sidney.
So the timeout comes at 14-5 here in set one on NKTelco Sports.
New Knoxville Supply Company, the supply source for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. We specialize in plumbing products from many name brands, electrical products from replacing a light switch to rewiring an entire house, heating, air conditioning, and geothermal products, sheet metal ductwork, installations, and service. We are now housing more inventory, so all the hardware items you need to complete the job are available right away. New Knoxville Supply. Stop in, call, or check us out online at newknoxvillesupply.com.
Back here in Sidney out of the timeout, 14-5. Troy on top of the scoreboard. They sit at 13-1 in conference, and this game brought to you by Grand Lake Health Systems.
Troy, a little bit of a mismatch as far as experience. Troy has 7 seniors on the team, 10 letter winners, and you have Sidney that starts 3 freshmen. It's a little tough uphill match for Lauren Moore. Coach Moore taking the time out here, regroup here, just take it play by play, and try not to get intimidated by this tall and talented Troy team.
Now back on the dunk across. It really seemed to catch Troy completely off guard. And they end up with 4 hits, and that's just a terrific individual play by Sidney.
Yeah, nice job by the setter that time. Avery setter that time for Sidney, able to mix it up.
Down to the floor, up on the dive. Now we'll try again as the back set right down the middle and just inside the line. Another one that is perfectly played as you see this replay. Brought to you by Winners Quality Meats.
See Faith Bockrath with a nice set over to Anna Brady for the kill.
Anna Brady, a state champion junior high in the shot put. Not what you would expect, but she's got some ups. There you go, right on cue again. Shot put, high jump, slam dunk.
Nice job there. She does a solo block here.
And it hits perfectly, too. The only player on that side of the floor.
Yeah, against Slusher, a very good hitter. So good back-to-back plays there by Anna Brady.
So 14-8 now. Small set up in from the middle and into the visiting team's bench. They're just trying to keep stats over there. They nearly got hit with a line drive.
Yeah, Lauren Schmitz hitting a big hit from the back row, and the girl was there for Sidney to block, but just too much power on that one.
Service across from Slusher. And the 2 hands, and this is an impressive run. It's not a big markdown play, but watch the play made by Faith Bockrath.
She's close to the net. She could sense the blockers. Instead of going right into the tee, she went off to the side. So she already has 2 kills in the matter of about 4 or 5 points.
She's one of 6, by the way. 2 brothers and 3 sisters. So happy to get out and play some volleyball, I'd imagine. Ball down to the floor off of the libero, and for another point at 16-9.
Carly Pfeiffer, senior middle hitter for Troy, as they continue to add to their now 7-point lead.
And it also seems like every time now that they bring someone up off the bench, they continue to get taller and taller. It's not what you want if you're Sidney, and a ball misplayed. Leah Baldwin, she's got to be happy it's October, by the way. I'm told she's a huge Green Day fan. September just ended. Now it's October. Works for her. Into the back row. And a set blocked right at the net. 4 hands. Better than 2. And a 9-point lead now.
That's time Bockrath tried to go up there, but Pfeiffer was there to block it. They were ready for that hit by Bockrath as that one goes into the net.
How many times is Babers going to make a mistake there? Already one of the biggest hitters in the top 7 in the MVL in serves.
She has 44 aces on the season as that one sails long. Yeah, the leading servers for Troy, Lauren Schmitz with 65, Orban with 55, and Baber 44. So some pretty big numbers. 5 of the top 10 servers playing in this contest. The ball zipped into the back row, now returned by Baber, set back up and long for a Sidney point out of bounds. That was Schmitz that hit it. They were asking for a touch, but referee says no. So 19-11 now. Here in set 1, JV contest taken 2-0 by Troy. Setney tried to change direction about halfway up. Carly Pfeiffer, she got outplayed on this one. Watch when it comes back to her in the front row. Look at Allie Stockton, good hang time, able to get the block. That lead cut down to 19-12. Ball into the back row, and you can tell when these balls are hit hard as it's off of Sidney on the shot from Anabosi on the return, but how hard those balls are hit when they're in the air, and you have a split second to judge if you want to try to play up or maybe dig under. Yeah, this is that time it was about a vertical hit there as Bosie. Great set by Baber, and there was an ace by Emmy Jackson. Right off of Allie Stockton, and that half smile on her face pretty much tells it all. I didn't quite get a hold of that one. 21-12 now as the same two will match up. This time on the dive, a little bit taken off of it, and Stockton into the net. And Troy now 3 points away from closing out set 1. I have them for 5 aces. Their goal was 6 aces, so they're 3 points to get an ace. There it is. So, again, most volleyball teams that are good, they do the aggressive serving. They'll live with a few bad ones because if you get not just the ace, sometimes the other team will return it. But if they don't return it and get a spike back, you won the serving battle. So looking for point 24. That one fought off by Truesdale. And a Troy player in the net there. The whistle was always quicker than the hand movement. 23-13 and a substitution. So back into Truesdale into the front row. Truesdale coming back from injury. She's been out for about 2 weeks with a sprained ankle, so good to see Cassidy in the lineup. It gives them a lot more flexibility, too. As that ball rifled across the back line, and a point to cut the lead to 9 for Sidney. Sidney trying to hang here. It'd be tough to come back from here, but nothing else. Try to build some momentum into the second set. Shears has one that's popped out of the back row. It'll come back to Truesdale for Sidney on the opposite side. She'll get a second chance, but just not high enough. And that's one of those ones, yeah, you make a mistake with not getting the ball high enough and the side out for Troy, but that's also easy to say when you don't have 2 6'2" players on the other side coming at you. Yeah, you have to be pretty well error-free against this very tall and talented Troy team. Coleman for set point. Her team up 10. Now set from in front and long, and that'll do it for set number 1 at 25-14 in favor of Troy here in set 1 in Sidney on NKTelco Sports.
At Wilson Health, we're extending care beyond the walls of the hospital with resources designed to keep you in charge of your health.
Our independence and connection to the community are unique in a world where big healthcare strives to act like corporations.
Our tools may be the same, but we are different.
We're neighbors, friends, and family who truly care about the people who live here.
We call it caring without limits, and it's just the beginning of a whole new Wilson Health.
Together, we are family, working safely for our loved ones. We are problem solvers who challenge the status quo and drive improvement.
We care about our customer relationships.
We stay true to our values, caring and respecting one another.
We embrace change as we journey through our career.
We are Precision Strip, the world's leading processor of rolled steel and aluminum.
Precision Strip, doing the exceptional.
Kogi Plumbing and Heating is your Bryant Factory authorized dealer. We have brought the best of comfort, control, and plumbing services to the St. Mary's area for over 60 years. We have been Reader's Choice winners for the last 4 years running and excel at providing our customers with efficient and reliable heating and air conditioning, as well as responsive service when a plumbing emergency arises. We insist that the products we install in our customers' homes and businesses offer the same performance and value that we expect ourselves. Call today for your next plumbing and heating or air conditioning needs. Bryant, whatever it takes.
One set in the books here in Sydney, a 25-14 win for Troy. Today's game brought to you by Grand Lake Health Systems. As you see the First National Bank set score, Sydney struggled in this series. They haven't won a set since the first of 2 times they met back in 2017, and 64 now. The last 68 sets between these two have gone in Troy's favor.
Yeah, Troy, too much firepower for Sidney. They had 10 kills compared to 4 for Sidney. Troy had 6 different players register kills, so a lot of balance, a lot of good weapons. Talked about one of the keys was serving aggressively. Coach Owen wanted to have 6 aces in the set, and she got exactly 6, only had 3 service errors. No aces for Sidney. They had 2 service errors. You know, this Troy program under Michelle Owen, 13 years, she's got around 240 wins, and a winning season every year. I think she's had, I have to look here, I think she's had 6 years out of those 13s were 20 wins or more. So
well, she had a streak of 7 straight division championships in the G-Walk into last year. Had a 63-match winning streak.
Yep.
That was snapped by Tippecanoe, who, of course, is their kind of nemesis, and followed them over to the wall there with the MVL.
Yeah, they follow them over there. They play each other actually tomorrow, which will be a huge matchup. But right now, Troy trying to take care of business here.
So Troy will serve to open this set. The teams switch ends, and immediately, this is what you expect when these teams play each other. Fast-paced action. Up on the set. Good block and recovery. Did not know how that one was going to end. Rolls on top of the tape. That's the hardest one, I would think, as a defender, because you have to wait and see what happens. And the big swing. Oh, great job to keep it alive by Stockton, but just too many hits and everybody out of sorts. Troy gets that point.
Carly Pfeiffer with the kill there, and it was a great set there by Morgan Baber. She did the quick set across, and that kind of changed the tempo, resulted in the point.
Houts with an excuse me where that hit up near the shoulder. Now great block, but just will not stay in. Sidney again, they've not had a problem getting up the ladder and getting the blocks, just being able to control them and have them land in bounds.
Yeah, that time Kate Orban really hit one hard, blocked out of bounds. And there you go, you have Bosey with the kill on the overpass by Sidney.
Truesdale had to come back up to the net. There was no one in that spot. It's Baber's second-team G-Walk American pick last year. The G-Walk did it by division. And then you have the overall players. That ball hung up forever. Back to the front, and the dink across by Bosey. He was playing well here as we look at a 4-0 lead here in set 2.
Bosey just a sophomore on this. A lot of seniors on this Troy team, as that one will go into the net.
Kind of similar to what you were saying, making a point when we came back. And, you know, you get 6 aces in the first set. You make those 3 errors, but you can kind of live with that as long as you're 2-1.
Yeah, a lot of those serves, and there is an ace that hit the top of the net there by Abby Nuss. And a lot of those, the first 4 points Troy had, they weren't aces, but Sidney didn't get a spike back. So it was, one of those was an overpass, and it was easy for Troy to get back into their offense.
Set back at the net again, and just enough off the inside of the right hand for Bosey to get that. And you look at that ace just a second ago for Nuss. She just had a game last week against Stebbins, 3 aces and 26 out of 26. You want to be able to get it to her for a long period of time if you're Sidney. Kind of help out yourself as the ball returned now down to the floor.
Nice job there by Darian McBride. The junior with the kill. Good follow through on that. Got top spin in that. Kind of forced Troy not to be able to hit that back as you take another look.
This ball just redirects a couple of different times. Even down to the floor. Go ahead and try to hit it again. But even McBride just came off 22 kills against Butler last week. It was her career high. As the back set and the spike right back off the hands.
Good cover there by Sidney to keep it alive, but not able to get it across.
Truesdale took her eyes off it for a second, and that looked like one of the plays from up here, as now at 6-3 for Troy, that she looked up for a split second to see who was on the other side of the net and just put one right back down into it. So ball set back again up front and free ball back across. The set to apparently nobody from Baber. I think she was looking for Schmitz, yes. Just wasn't there.
She was looking for Schmitzer. I think she was looking for Slusher to come around here. One of the rare communications there on the Troy team.
Now 6-4 in what was just a second ago a 4-0 lead. Ball ripped right off of a Boshears.
As Bosey with another kill, as Bosey will rotate out of the front row as she has 4 kills already out of the 7 points for Troy.
Jenna Coleman, the junior, into the contest. Spells Jenna with a G. Now waiting to put the ball across the net. Big right hand from her right down the middle. And it allows Sidney at least the opportunity to set back up. A lot of rushing and a big right hand. Wow, great play. Boshears, I don't know how she got that across, but the running gate slammed shut with Brianna Slusher picking up another point for her squad.
Yes, as you said, nice job there by Boshears to keep it alive, but not able to get anything back at it. Killed by Troy.
And the second time with the service there, lead cut to 8-5.
Into the front row will be Anna Brady in the lineup for Sidney. She have Darian McBride serving.
McBride puts one right back down the middle as he up and over from Morgan Baber. There's not a lot that young lady cannot do with the volleyball. As the shot, and Brady went after the first couple. As you see this replay, watch her take a little bit off of it.
Yeah, she went up and took a little bit, kind of in between a spike and a dink, and it worked for her 3rd kill of the evening.
Again, it was 4-0. It's now 8-7. As Jenna Coleman immediately turned and looked up. It's the craftsman and the tools thing, because she looked at her hands as if they betrayed her.
Nice serve there by Darian McBride, first ace of the night for Sidney.
Gets them to within 8-7. This ball sent across to Emmy Jackson. Now the runner sent right back, and there's kind of a synopsis for how Troy has gotten a good amount of their points tonight. They've gotten big attacks, but Sidney's been able to block them back. They've just not landed in bounds.
And Baber's been setting it, but look how many times the bumps go right to her, and she's able to. And if she's able to set it without moving a lot, that really works well. As that time on the overpass, Kate Orban puts it away. This Troy team just doesn't let you make any mistakes. They put anything away that you make it easy on them. What you have to do is get some spikes back at them so they can't get the easy spike back.
There's one right on cue.
Brady again.
And get a look at this replay.
This time on the left side, she had double blockers, able to get across the top as the freshman doing a nice job tonight. Replays being brought to you by Winners Quality Meats.
But it's also interesting, too, you see Troy, when they make a mistake, they don't compound their mistakes. You kind of take your opponent out of your game a little bit. Well, back-to-back points. And that one hit right in front of the dive of Ella Furlong.
Ace by Nora Houts there, so couple 3 aces already here in this second set as they're trying to tie it up here.
And Houts the freshman, and it has not been tied since midway through the first set. It won't be here. This ball, it does not matter who is up in the front line. Again, I said 6'1", 6'2" in that Troy front line. They can come up there and just obliterate balls, and you get no chance to do anything with it.
That's Kate Orban. That was a tough hit because she was pretty far back from the net, and she was able to hit it down on the double blockers. That means she's getting very vertical when she's hitting it.
Stockton puts it across for Sidney. Now the attack blocked and kept in play. That's a little bit of everybody pays attention off your face and back across.
Good block in there by Brady. Troy's able to keep it alive. And putting it away there is Carly Pfeiffer.
Off of Backrath and in to the crowd.
That's where you, like you were saying before, Troy doesn't let a mistake happen. Well, that wasn't a mistake, but Brady had a nice block, but Troy covered it, got another hit back, and they end up winning the point.
Anna Slusher doing the serving now, back up by 3 after nearly having this contest be tied as a dink across you see on this replay.
There's Anna Brady again, and she has a good sense of where the blockers are. She knew that spot was open, so it was a little hook shot, if you will, to her left and falls to the floor.
Now it works. Troy with a great rotation as they get it across. Just that quickly able to cover again. Is falling out of the sky. Is Jackson to keep it alive. Nearly hit the speaker all the way above the netting on the other side.
Good dig by Houts there to keep it alive.
Great communication on both sides. This one, again, nearly skimmed the speaker on the other side.
Nuss was able to dig it, but they're digging it. They're not able to get a spike off of it. That's easier said than done, but they're really battling here.
They're having to be reactionary to it a little bit.
Yep.
Because Brady, even when she got that one across, it was kind of a hope it falls in sort of thing. So the serve now coming from Morgan Baber. Must be set right back to Baber, and that had some heat on it. Kate Orban again. It's either she or Carly Pfeiffer every time. They do a terrific job, Troy does, of being able to move right to left off those sets.
Yeah, it was a nice job. The way Morgan Baber runs that offense, you're not exactly sure who it is. So if you're in the middle blocker, you can't really slide. You can't hedge your way on where you're going to block.
Palmed right back across by Sidney. Back set again, and you watch this happen. This is Anna Bosey this time around on this attack, but you watch where this comes from, and there's no way that she even knows that anyone's behind her. It's just, you know your teammates well enough that they're going to be there.
Yeah, that was a beautiful back set. That was an easy put away there by Bosey. It's the right place at the right time. And there's another kill there by Anna Brady as we'll get another look.
Watch this go off Ella Furlong's right hand, and she has to make a decision. She's the furthest back there about, is that going to hit the back line and land in or out? I think it would have landed in, so she made the right choice.
Brady goes to the bench. She had 4 kills in that rotation in the front row there.
Great job to keep it alive by Allie Stockton for Sidney. Dinked back across, though, and that's the spacing. We were talking about this a little bit early on, that Pfeiffer makes that change, and you draw everybody to her right. She just dinks it back to the left.
Yeah, and that's when you have the power, you can control that. You get a little bit more space when you have that power. You have to play a step back on the court.
5-point lead at 16-11 as Stockton into the net. Now 17-11 on the timeouts. Set number 2 in favor of Troy right now on the First National Bank scoreboard here on NKTelco Sports.
At Joint Township District Memorial Hospital, your comfort and care is our #1 priority. Our surgical nerve blocks are a great way to reduce pain and can be used for arm, shoulder, hip, knee, ankle, and foot surgeries. The nerve blocks decrease the stress of surgery on your body, requires less anesthesia and pain medications, and in many cases can offer relief for several days. Visit grandlakehealth.org for details on all of our services.
Schwiedemann Pharmacies began serving the people of Auglaize County in 1916 when Urban Schwiedemann purchased the building and business from J.H. Hoffman. The New Bremen location is one of the longest-running pharmacies in the country, with over 110 years of serving its patrons. Since then, 4 more stores have been added: Coldwater, St. Mary's, Minster, and Wapakoneta to round out the group. Our services include prescription refills, home medical equipment, nursing home services, customized compounded medication, vaccinations, and so much more.
Set number 2 and a 17-11 lead for Troy. Make it 18-11. Right off of Allie Stockton into the front row. Troy took set 1 at 25-14. They picked up 6 aces in that set. They're trying to get back to that number now.
And that was just their first ace of this set. This was a 9-10 game. Sidney was close, and then Troy's really taken control since that time.
And a lot of it with great net play up front. And this young lady right here in Morgan Baber. That ball, you could hear it, and it hit the official just for good measure.
It's Lauren Schmitz, who's been relatively quiet here in this second set. She only had 1. That's her first kill. She had 3 sets in the first one, but we've talked about this. Troy has a lot of depth, a lot of hitters on this team.
And it's hard to say. Again, there you go, right on cue.
Schmitz there is. She gets an opportunity.
She was in the net.
Ooh.
Because the point went the other way. She kind of smiled and walked away as you get a look at this replay.
Sometimes it's tough to do that. Yeah, she did hit the net. You're trying to hit it hard and control you got to follow through, but you don't want to have your hand hit the net, and that time it just brushed it.
GWOC North Athlete of the Year last year, 203 digs, 251 in kills. Just a tremendous year as the point comes back the other way.
Bosie with another kill. That's 6th there. Abby Nuss did a nice job. She had a pancake there. Got her hand underneath it to hit the back of her hand, but not able to keep it alive.
Leah Baldwin back into the game now, 20-12. It's also Hallie Westmeyer on the other side. But the spacing and the communication has been a big help for Troy here as that back set again, and it's Bosie with the just attack. There's no way to defend that.
On the right side there, and usually if you can get, most teams don't have as strong a hitter on the right side as they do on the left side. It's harder hit, it's across your body, but the sets have been perfect, and she's 6'2". She doesn't really even, she just jumps up straight and just puts it, kind of a quick hit, if you will.
It's almost not fair.
Yes, there's a nice hit there by Darren McBride.
Right at 5'9", as you see the Winners Quality Meets replay.
Against the double blockers there, she saw there was an opening there, just went a little bit to the right of the blockers for the kill. Darian McBride.
It's crazy because you see a lot of girls in about 5'8", 5'9", try to hit it through those two blockers as the point here for Hallie Westmeyer. But she, to her credit, went the complete other way. Yeah, Westmeyer with a point out 22-13.
You have to be, you want to hit it hard as you can, but when you're against a taller person, you got to be smart about it.
Jenna Coleman back in to do the services, misses long. 22-14. This is about the area that we were in the first set before Troy picked up a couple of aces to put a stop at 25-14. Ball again set. Just so high, and it just missed the line. I don't know that volleyball has less air in it right now, as hard as that ball was hit across.
Yeah, you're at as many volleyball matches as we are, and as hard as all these girls hit on all these teams, it is amazing they don't lose some air, because it takes a pounding. There's a nice dump there by Baber.
She's got a smile on her face that she got away with it, too. Watch this play.
Yeah, because she knew she was in trouble. The blockers are right there. And I'll just try to do a little hook shot. Very legal. I'm not saying she held it, but.
It's a fingertip hook shot.
Yeah.
23-15 now. Again, that's there's the cheater ball for you right there, too. Rolls back on Sidney's side. Again, that slam dunk over the top, but a great save.
Way to keep it alive there. Last hit by Bockrath.
Baldwin had a help with it, too, but.
Orban puts it away there, and the setter Morgan Baber, a senior, like we talked about earlier, she's gone over 1,000 career assists on the season, on her career. She's got a lot of experience. She knows when to do that and when not to. You don't want to do it too many times. She loses the element of surprise as you have an ace there by Lauren Schmitz.
So that'll do it off. For set two, 25-15 in set two. The first went 25-14. So Troy will try to close it out when we come back for set number 3 here in Sydney on NKTelco Sports.
At CAPT, we use hometown opportunity to make sure that when we have a position open within the facility, it gets put on the website.
We've really been excited to see how that has grown so much over the last several years.
If anyone is looking for a job, it's the best place to go.
We really want to do whatever we can to get folks that are from this community back to this area.
I would recommend any manufacturing company that they take a look at it. It's a very good benefit for companies at no cost.
At Minster Bank, we understand that life can get hectic. That's why when it comes to your banking, we offer the services that make your life simpler with tools like person-to-person payments, Pop Money, mobile and online banking, and bill pay. But most of all, Minster Bank is a supportive member of your community with personal relationships and customer service that reach outside of our branches. Minster Bank, helping people achieve financial success.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Getting ready for set number 3 here in Sidney. The first two went 25-14, 25-15 to Troy. Big thanks to our sponsors for helping us make this game possible. This game brought to you by Grand Lake Health System, along with American Trim and First National Bank. Also a big thanks to Winners Quality Meats, NKTelco and Frost Roofing, Hometown Opportunity, along with the Minster Bank, Ply Gem, Precision Strip, Schwieterman Pharmacy, NK Supply Company, along with Wilson Health and Fowler's TV. Cy Schwieterman, Carriage Works, and Kogi Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning. Our keys to the game brought to you by Keyhole Pizza. Our replays brought to you by Winners Quality Meats. And coming up, we'll have our NKTelco player of the game as well. But the First National Bank scoreboard, which reminds you to think first, Dave, has not been kind to Sidney early.
No, they hung in there. It was 10-9. And then Troy took over. They had a remarkable hitting game. They had 21 kills out of their 25 points. They now have 31 kills in the match. 8 different girls have had kills for them. That's 31 kills compared to just 10 for Sidney. Anna Bosey had 7 kills in just that set. Kate Orban had 5. Good setting there by the setter, Morgan Baber. For Sidney, Anna Brady had 4 kills in that set, and they came just in one rotation. She was in the front row. She had 6 kills on the night to lead the Yellow Jackets.
So big matchup tomorrow for Troy as they get Tippecanoe at home. But right now, trying to close this one out for their 4th straight win and stop Sidney's 4-game winning streak.
Yeah, and Troy is in Division I. It's not hard to believe they're unranked, but Division I,
I was blown away when I looked at that.
You run into all those Cincinnati teams and Columbus teams, Cleveland teams. It's very tough for them to really get through some of those powerhouses. I could not believe at
16-2 with the schedule they play that they were unranked.
Yeah, it surprised me too. I looked a couple times and they were unranked. Unbelievable.
Control tried to find it.
If they're unranked, it'd be scary to see who's the #1 team.
So the first couple of points again, just like the first set split.
In that first set, Troy had six aces. The last one, they just had 3 aces. Sidney had 3 aces there in the first set as Abby Nuss serving for the Yellow Jackets.
And on that high run, again, you get the tall, lanky girls that can come across. Padua Franciscan out of Parma is the #1 team this week. As there are some very good teams behind there, and that's what here's right, kind of encompassing what I was talking about earlier, though. You get these long, big hitters, they force you to spread out, and then they can just sort of put the ball wherever they want offensively.
Yeah, some of the other ones in the top, Ursuline Academy, St. Ursuline Academy in Toledo, St. Ursula and Sidney. All those Ursula and Ursulines are pretty powerful.
They're very good.
Yeah, they're very good.
Speaking of, right down the corner, Brianna Slusher makes it a 3-1 lead. Keep in mind, less than 30 seconds ago, this was 1-1. But a lot of great teams in our area ranked as well in the D3 and D4 polls.
I believe there's 7 in Division 4, 7 MAC teams in Division 4 that's ranked. I believe a couple Division 3 teams. Now check that. 7 overall for the MAC, 5 in Division 4, 2 in Division 3.
Ottawa Glandorf sitting at #1 in D3 this week.
Yeah, they picked up a big win over St. Henry.
Knocked off St. Henry, and you know, I kind of feel for Allie Stockton right now because she's under fire over there as a freshman for Sidney. She's going to be a good one, though. She'll get an opportunity here. But the 12-foot wall came up with the block, and again, every time you want to get something going offensively, now it's Schmitz. This ball kind of olayed out towards the background.
Good volley going on here.
And again, off the knuckles and off the tip.
Brianna Slusher there. That was a perfect set in that she stayed behind the ball and was able to get her full force on there. And she or any of these girls able to do that, it's tough to stop.
Amy Jackson, the libero, committed to play at Wittenberg with the service. Now a 6-1 lead as she has picked up 3 straight points.
Sidney 10-4 in the Valley division of the Miami Valley League in first place.
Say something nice about a kid, something bad happens. Jackson with the serve into the net. And you look at where Sidney is right now, a 2-game lead over Fairborn. Pretty much it's them and Fairborn because they're so far ahead of everybody as back-to-back points come off of Jackson mistakes. And the lead cut to 6-3 with Sidney Boshears continuing to serve.
Yeah, give an ace there to Sidney Boshear. Yeah, in the Valley Conference, you have Sidney at 10-4, Fairborn 8-7, Xenia and Stebbins at 2-12. West Carrollton hasn't won a league game yet, so.
Another big shot from Slusher. See if they set back to her again. Nope, set across. And that's not a bad second option in Lauren Schmitz.
Good job there by Bachrath to get a hand on it.
Allie Westmeyer into the game again, and Emily Huber, the senior setter for the first time. She'll go back to serve with her team on top 7-3 and 2-0. Big right hand from her again. Most of the time up here, I hear it before I see it.
There's a nice hit there by Darian McBride. A set by Faith Bachrath in the middle as we'll get another look here, brought to you by Winners Meats Bachrath.
Watch Hutchinson lay out for it. Is not able to get it back high enough. Again, Sidney with glimpses of brilliance right now, but just the most part, everything is going Troy's way. As a Westmeyer, it seemed like a little bit she kind of got caught in the middle of 2 decisions about which way to go, to try to hammer down the side or come back across the middle.
One thing I like too about Sidney is they're battling. Things that haven't gone their way a lot of times, but they're not just rolling over and playing dead. They're still battling, and as you see the hit there by Faith Bachrath off the set.
Watch the replay again. She knows.
On the second hit there. Again, that's the sense that you have to have as a setter, one to do that. And as a senior setter, 4 years starting at setter for Sidney. She does a nice job there.
Wow. Watch out if you're in the hallway. That ball is coming towards you. Orange Schmitz just smoked one to the corner, but misses. Now tied at 7. This is the first actual tie since I believe it was 3-3 in the first. It was 2-2 in the first. And the mistake.
Double hit on the Sidney setter there.
So in back will come Leah Baldwin.
Schmitz will serve, captain on this Troy team.
It's a good choice. Likely to be in consideration to be an All-Ohio pick, but as she got back, Sidney with the point you see here on the replay to set this up.
Nice set by Bachrath. McBride, see how she gets on top of it, almost hitting it with their wrist, and really a good hit there by McBride as she'll go back to serve.
Said that 22 kills against Butler, her career high. Ball set back up. It wasn't I think what Orban was looking for, but it ended up working out. Because when she started to go up, she had one thing in mind, had to change her flight path.
Yep. And the good ones can do that. She adjusted there, and when she's changing it, then Sidney had to react to that and got the first hit, but not able to get the second one.
Ella Furlong, the senior, in to serve now for Troy.
Michelle Owens getting a lot of players in here in the third set.
Big right hand, and 2 of them involved on this play. There's another one, kind of similar to what I was talking about. They have to change the idea, but Troy is so good at adapting on the fly.
There's a double hit there, one of the rare hitting errors for Troy here tonight.
It's a big momentum thing, too, for Sidney right now. At 9-9, again, by far, the latest that they have been within a couple of points. That second set, they were almost even through the first 30 points, but after that, Troy took over.
There's a big hit there by Curcio.
Bosey back in.
The blocks were there for Sidney, but with that much power, you got to really square up that block, or otherwise it's going to go out of bounds like it did there.
Back up top and trying to just change it with a left hand was Brady.
Timing was a little bit off. It was a little bit behind her. She couldn't hit it with her right hand. And Troy now up 11-9 as Morgan Baber back in the lineup and now serving.
Push back across. Didn't land over there for very long. Brady is playing a nice contest, though. She and Faith Bockrath up front.
And that time the kill by Allie Stockton for Sidney.
Sidney with that side out brings in Cassidy Truesdale, who, according to Sidney's volleyball Twitter, her big thing they learned about her in the offseason, she can eat an entire jar of pickles in one setting.
That's a talent. You know?
Scott Robinson eats like 3 jars, but whatever. 11-11. I hope that she doesn't do that right before the game, though. I can't imagine eating that many pickles.
I've heard of football players drinking pickle juice so they don't cramp up, but I'm not the pickles per se.
That was my favorite thing I learned this week. Kate Orban with another big blast across, and again, it kind of beleaguer a point. Spacing, continuing from the front line to put Sidney out of sorts defensively. And uncharacteristically, mistakes on the other side.
And no aces so far this set for Troy's. Good back row defense by Sidney as Abby Nuss, the libero, serving for Sidney. That will sail long.
One of the keys that we told you about earlier on here, Troy, theirs was about spreading the ball out on the offensive end. They've done that, I would say, in check. Said they wanted to have multiple players with at least 3 kills in each set. You said they had 31 kills by 8 different players.
8 different players. I don't know if they had multiple players with 3 hits. So yeah, I'll have to look that up as we go along here.
That's pretty good, as I understand it. Although Sidney within a point right now as they continue. Seems like in this set they've gotten a little bit stronger with hits that they didn't make in the first couple of sets. As another one ripped right down by Slusher to disprove my point. But overall, they've been able to. Their communication is definitely better in this set for one.
Mm-hmm.
So 14-12.
They've had a few spots where they're able to get a kill and blocked it. And sometimes you don't have to necessarily block, but just to throw off the other team.
Big slam again, sent defensively by Bockrath, or excuse me, by Truesdale. Up to the middle again, and just, my goodness. From up here, these balls are traveling at a high rate of speed. I can't imagine standing down there trying to watch it.
And the Schmitz did a nice job. She was hitting from the middle, and she did an angle that fell just inside there. There wasn't a lot of angle to work with there, but she was so high that it was going more, I like to say, more vertical than it was horizontal. And it was going pretty well straight down.
Amy Jackson with the serve right off the libero and Nuss on the other side. And Abby's not got a positive look on her face right now as that lead, it was just 12-12. Now is at 16-12.
Yeah, it seemed like they were battling, and Troy put some tough, good plays together.
Good recovery by Stockton after her initial shot over was blocked. Back of the net, good block on the double team. Stockton a part of that again.
Stockton also, you had McBride. And McBride there to block it, as well as Truesdale. Let's take a look who actually got their hands on it. I believe that was
looks like
McBride was on in the middle there. So we'll give the block to McBride, and good blocking there.
Does everybody get half a block?
Yeah, you can do combined blocks.
That's such a good team block right there, honestly.
Honestly, you got to have that double blocker to be effective. Even if you don't touch it, you need that second one to get the hitter to hit it away from you or away from one of them.
Schmitz for the second time now sends one back across. The first one, I marvel at how she was able to get from just inside the pin. Set in the middle, and the redirect. That ball was high up there, and Slusher able to just kind of tap one home.
Just a little, timing was a little bit off. She had good hang time there to just get it over. Sometimes those ones usually the ones in the middle are quick ones, and that timing has to be right on. If not, I've seen it that it goes over and it doesn't even get hit. Slusher did a nice job of just getting it over.
So now 17-13. And Sidney with the beautiful back set. It just fell across.
Bockrath, 4 kills from the setting position. As you see here, she kind of does a back set and finds the middle there. I think she threw off the Troy defense. Good job by Faith Bockrath.
Yeah, they were definitely confused on that one. That's what nearly could have been an ace for Sidney. The way that ball was hit, and it ended up on the precipice of going to the floor. So 17-15, Sidney fighting back. Up and across. That should be out. Yeah, I was going to say. I was waiting to see where that went. I thought, honestly, at first, that Dave, that ball was going to go through. Maybe that wasn't necessarily meant for her. It was supposed to go a little bit further.
Yeah, a lot of times you set it, and then it goes over the middle hitter and goes to the one outside, kind of like that, but closer, though.
That ball wasn't hit near as hard as that one, though.
Nice hit there by McBride for Sidney. That sails out of bounds, and we are tied. 17-17 on our First National Bank scoreboard.
So Sidney, who trails 2 sets to none, not ready to go home yet. Cassidy Truesdale with the spin and the serve. Right down the middle and fought off by Brenna Hutchinson. Sidney, though, good positioning as Truesdale able to get back. Ball rolls down the tape. And it'll be a point for the Yellow Jackets.
Darian McBride there. I don't know, hit that ball. It was blocked out of bounds by Troy, so that registers as a kill for McBride. She has 5 on the night, and the lead for Sidney.
This is just the second time that Sidney has led. They got up 1-0 in one of the earlier sets. But since then, the lead has been all the other way as we go back to the
Troy side.
Back to the tie. I was waiting to see. The officials were kind of conversing and nothing was happening.
Yeah, it was a little bit late on the scoreboard there as they were down officials trying to get the substitution in there.
It's actually the 5th time in this set that it's been tied. The deepest in all 3. As there's that same play. Big right hand from Baccarat keeps it alive.
Nice dig there by Nuss on the hit. There's a block by, we'll give it to number 11, Hallie Westmeyer.
Another great double team play at the net, and what was just a 1-point deficit now is a 1-point lead for Troy.
Here's where Sidney has to really hang tough here. As Troy's trying to get things going. They want to go home to Troy down I-75.
If you can get there and there's not any traffic. On the dive, Jackson got a
violation against Troy. If they're under the net there, I believe. Anyway, the side out will go to Sidney. And Mary McBride will serve.
Kim McBride just a week ago had a terrific game against Vandalia Butler. Right now, having herself a game as well.
Yeah, she's done a nice job here. 3 kills, a block, and an ace here in the 3rd set as their Yellow Jackets take a 1-point lead.
And again, keep in mind, it has been 4 matches that Sidney has not won a set in. Good recovery by the Trojans. Blocked, and it comes back down on Sidney's side. Sidney wins this point for me, Dave, because of Nora Houts. Because when you see this replay, I don't know where this will come in at, right there.
Yeah.
She saved that ball off of the net as a timeout for Troy. Just a spectacular play on her part. It's 21-19 Sidney as we hit the timeout here in set 3 on NKTelco Sports.
At First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it. And online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
21-19 Sidney with the lead. This game brought to you by Grand Lake Health System. And a big key early on was about containing the big hitters for Sidney of Troy. And here in the last handful of points, I'd say the last 10 or so, they've been able to do that.
Let's see if they can build here on this 2-point lead. And now able to a nice slide play as Brianna Slusher on the set by Morgan Baber, able to put it away there.
And here comes one of the 3 hammers that have been used in the Troy toolbox so far. And Carly Pfeiffer, she checks back in. Hasn't been in since about midway through this set. Now the back set, you can hear the communication, and Slusher And the shot that'll, well, they'll say it's in.
Orban with a hit. That was a great bump set there by Slusher. We get a replay here. See, she came in and helped out with the set. Not just a set, but she bump set that. A beautiful set there to Orban. And a great job there by Slusher.
And we're tied at 21. Set and a point from Backrath to Brady.
Brady leads Sidney with 7 kills tonight.
Most important one there because it brings her team to within 3 points of winning their first set in a while against Troy.
Allie Stockton checks in the front row. You see a little bit more hop in the step for Sidney here. Trying to sneak a set here.
Trying to sneak a point. And Baber, what a great save. Oh.
I think they're going to replay that. That was a pancake there by Sidney. It was underneath there, and the up official, he's saying, my bad. He thought he blew the whistle, so they'll just have to replay it. So that's all you can do. I'm sure he feels bad about it, but good job there. Great job there by Abby Nuss as she pancaked it. Got her hand underneath it, and it's hitting the back of the hand, which is a totally legal hit.
She is nearly in tears, though, after having that point taken away from her.
That was you don't see very many of those pancake hits. That was a great hit.
She had one in one of their first couple of games, though, too. It's on Twitter, I saw. Was just a beauty early in the season.
And unfortunately, that ball went there. You don't know how that last point would have ended. You know, you like to think Sidney would have got it, but you don't know. That's all you can do. The official just made the call what he thought. He had to replay it there, so that's just all you can do. So we're tied at 22.
Posey back in for Troy now as he is set, and a good hit from Stockton. She went from her left to right. Back to Abby Nuss, and that, again, I call it the slam dunk play by Backrath. She is just able to get it across, and you see on the replay.
She's had 4 kills in this set, which is very unusual for a setter. And again, she did that left, very similar to what she had before, just high enough.
Little baby sky hook.
Yeah, there you go.
Some ball is just obliterated across and punched. That's a straight knuckle play right there.
Chance here for Sidney.
They have got Troy on their heels defensively. Ball sent back across and down to the floor off of Nora Houts and down just in front of where Backrath could get, and we're tied at 23 in a timeout here in set number 3. As we look at the sponsors again for today's contest, big thanks to Grand Lake Health Systems for sponsoring this broadcast, along with American Trim and First National Bank, where you see on the scoreboard. Good third set, tied at 23 here on NKTelco with Frost Roofing, along with Hometown Opportunity and the Minster Bank, Ply Gem and Precision Strip, Schwieterman Pharmacy, NK Supply Company, Wilson Health, Fowler's TV, Cy Schwieterman Carriage Works, and Kogi Plumbing and Heating. And we have had a lot of great winners meets replays in this one, and I don't know how this set's going to end.
Yeah, it's been quite a battle. Sidney has upped their game. I think Troy came in this set thinking they relaxed a little bit, thought they had it in the bag, and Troy's given them everything they can handle here in the third set.
Troy lost a set earlier this year to Centerville when they lost 3-2. Lost the first set 33-31. They're down a point away from the end of this set.
And Backrath again won the battle at the net, just a little bit stronger there. And Sidney serving for set point here. Abby Nuss
trying to get that point back from earlier on.
Yep.
Big right hand across to Emmy Jackson. Set back over. That's a long way to run, and Abby Nuss herself will be able to save it for her team, but the mistake costing the point.
Double hit. So now we go back at 24. We're in overtime, if you will, as team you have to win by 2 as Emmy Jackson back to serve for the Trojans.
Again, she will go play down the road at Wittenberg, and the slam from Brianna Slusher puts the match point now.
Slusher with 6 kills on this set, and here's the opportunity for Troy. Sidney really needs a good first hit off the serve here.
Jackson's looking for an ace.
Yeah, they want to have a good spike back as Backrath chases it down.
And the right hand across nearly. That was nearly the point to begin with from Truesdale, but the way that she kind of cuts one across it changed the whole design for how that return was going to go for Troy.
The thing about being far from the net, it's hard to hit it over, but if you are far from the net, it's hard to block. And she put an angle on it, and nice job there by Truesdale to keep it alive.
So Bocheers now will serve. Big spot for the sophomore. She puts one right down Broadway and return right back to Abby Nuss as she goes to the floor. Terrific defense on both sides, keeping it alive, and the slam from out of nowhere. I didn't even see Anna Bosey. You'll see, watch her come from the right side. Right there.
Yeah, she did that overpass, and she jumped on. She didn't let it go to the back row. She took advantage of it.
So match point number 2. As Emily Huber back in. She got a pair of points on the service earlier on. Trying to close out one here. And puts it into the net.
So Sidney has survived 2 set points for Troy.
Jenna Coleman in for Troy. Sidney sends back Cassidy Truesdale. The east to west spin and the knuckleball across. On the back set, that big runner again on the attack from Brianna Slusher. See if they go back through Slusher. That ball is so high up there off the fingertips of a Sidney player, and a point, match point 3.
When you need to go to the big hit, you give it to one of your better hitters there, Schmitz, as she goes back to serve for another match point here for Troy.
Also, you brought in Kate Orban, who has had a terrific afternoon as well. It's a long ball nearly misplayed by Baldwin up on the fingertips of Morgan Baber. Good return in the setup here for Sidney. Everybody does not want to lose this point. But there's your winner, Brianna Slusher. Another big hit and a 28-26 third set win. So that is the 3-0 win for Troy. I'll tell you about how this game comes to be and get ready for our player of the game selection when we come back to Sidney here on NKTelco Sports.
Plychem Residential Solutions is part of Cornerstone Building Brands, North America's largest manufacturer of exterior building products, and the success of our company is directly related to the contributions of our employees. We are currently looking for machine operators, maintenance technicians, forklift operators, and more to join our growing team at our facility in Sidney, Ohio. Plychem offers competitive pay, a full benefits package, as well as opportunities for bonus pay and long-term advancement. Become a part of our strong foundation.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We are certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
Here's the thing. If you're the kind of guy who eats, sleeps, and breathes farming, who gets up at dawn, determined to get the best crop and the best yield, why surrender to the mercy of the water table? Cy Schwederman Incorporated can lower your water table to an average of 2 to 3 feet below the surface, allowing you to grow stronger, healthier plants that root deeper, that are more resilient to the elements, that enable longer growing seasons, and can produce higher results in the fields and in your pocket. Trust CSI, your drainage experts since 1946.
Trust us! NKTelco, a small-town company with a big focus on customer service. We build business the old-fashioned way.
Trust us to be your internet provider.
Trust us to help you find the right cable package for your viewing needs.
Trust us to answer your questions any time of the day.
Trust NKTelco to be on call. Deliver and make sure your service is tailored to meet your needs.
We serve commercial and residential customers to meet their communication needs. Trust us at NKTelco.
Trust us! Take your game day party to the next level with a new TV and Sonos sound system from Fowler's TV in St. Mary's. A Sonos system takes the action into every room of your home and outdoors. Break your home into zones and control the content and level right from your phone or tablet, enabling you to enjoy the game or not with the touch of a finger. Add a security camera system connected to your TV from Fowler's and never leave another friend stuck outside in the cold. Fowler's TV, taking game day to the next level.
Back final time here in Sydney, a 3-0 win for Troy, 25-14, 25-15, 28-26. Dave, how does this one come to be?
Mainly the power of Troy. Overall, they had 49 kills compared to just 20 for Sidney. Too much power there. Aces, 10 aces compared to 7 service errors for Troy. 5 aces, 4 service errors for Sidney. Some of our individual numbers. The leading person with the most kills was Anna Bosey with 12 kills. Brianna Slusher with 11 kills for Troy. You also had Carly Pfeiffer with 5 kills. Kate Orban with 9 kills. Lauren Schmidt, some of the leaders, she had 7 kills. All told, 8 different players for Troy with kills tonight. Now for Sidney, they were led by Anna Brady, had the most kills with 7 kills. Darian McBride, 5 kills, 2 aces, and a block. Faith Bockrath, the setter, with 5 kills. And you also had an ace by Nora Houts, Abby Nuss with an ace. Also Sydney Boshears with a kill, as well as Allie Stockton with a kill for the Yellow Jackets. So the Yellow Jackets fall to 11-8 overall, 10-5 in the league, where Troy goes to 17-2. They are now 14-1 in the Miami Valley League.
Take a look at our NKTelco player of the game for tonight. And this young lady, we love her game. She played a tremendous game early on, a couple of mistakes, but really figured it out, was a big part of the second set, and most easily the reason why they were able to get on that run in the third set.
Yeah, she had 5 kills alone in the third set, which is very unusual for a setter. And in that 5-1 offense, she's handling the ball the whole game, and she did a nice job. Very heads up on her plays, had some nice sets to her setters, as Sidney really battled there in the third set, almost pulled off a win against a very good Troy team. So our player of the game tonight, Faith Bockrath.
Sidney now 11-8 on the year. They get West Carrollton on Wednesday. They go to Tippecanoe on Tuesday, at Greenville next Wednesday. Not easy for them. Troy, though, big matchup tomorrow against Tippecanoe. They get Stebbins next week at Piqua, and you expect that these teams are going to have very interesting tournament draws later this weekend.
Yeah, you would think Troy would get a very high seed. Sidney's going to get a decent seed, with a winning record. Like you said, the drawing is already on Sunday, and then they just have one more week of regular season next week, and then we're into tournament. Amazing how quickly the season is going by.
You can watch this and every other game on demand on the NKTelco Sports Facebook page and at nktelco.com. Big thanks to our sponsors for tonight, our Keyhole Pizza. Keys to the game, along with what you're seeing right now in our Winners Meets replays. We talked about our NKTelco player of the game and our First National Bank scoreboard. First National Bank remind you to think first. Troy with a 3-0 sweep, 25-14, 15, and 28-26. So for our director and Scott Robinson and his assistant, and Ian Bolheimer, our cameraman in Xavier Gross and Dave Kanapke, I'm Mike Kern. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow from all of us here at NKTelco Sports.